Heard on Thursdays with Nikki is about to go live online. Catch HOT, the iconic radio show that made Philippine FM radio talk, every Thursday on the Monster.
Streaming video on the Monster Facebook page at RX931, the Monster YouTube channel at RX931, and twitch.tv/Monster RX931.
You heard on Thursdays host, Nikki Porter. Stand by and enjoy the program.
Hey, good evening, monsters. My name's Nikki, and I'm back for more hot conversations on Heard on Thursdays, the show that made Philippine FM radio talk, only on Manila's hottest Monster RX93.1. So, it was Valentine's Day. It's the love month. So, inevitably, this season always provokes conversations about love. And there are so many kinds, but February usually brings out the romantics in all of us. Yes, even the single ones, like myself, even if it's just in our heads. But tonight, though, we'll have real talk about love. Getting it, being in it, and falling out of it, recovering from it even, just to start all over again. It is a cycle, after all. No matter the age, though, most dating questions often remain the same. TBH, it's like you're asking for a second and third and fourth opinion throughout your dating life, even in your 30s, that decade when you feel like you've lived a little, but still don't know enough. Tonight, we have two guests who love sharing their experiences and their views on love in a wise, witty, and funny podcast called Thirsty and 30. They are Bea Trinidad and Ciari Luna. And no, you don't have to be in your 30s to enjoy tonight's show. Wherever you are in your dating life right now, you can ask questions or give your thoughts in the comments section, or just sit back and reminisce your own wins and losses in love. Heard on Thursdays, monsters, please welcome Bea Trinidad and Ciari Luna of podcast about smarter love, Thirsty and 30.
Hi, everybody. Just
Hey.
so we're clear, we are in our early 30s, very early 30s.
Early 30s. Early 30s.
Yeah.
We have a very close age gap.
Just so we're clear.
All right, so welcome, Bea and Ciari. It's so glad to have you guys here. I'm excited also to talk to you guys about dating and relationships. Why not? No better time to do it, right? It is February. So I usually like to start things off by asking what both of you have been up to since the pandemic. So aside from work, aside from your chat show, what's the latest hobby or binge you've been busy with? So I'm going to start with Ciari.
Hobby or binge? I recently completed a market bag. I crocheted it. Shows how young I am.
I love that though. I want to
Yeah.
learn how to crochet.
It's fun. As you know, it's very relaxing. I took it up
Yeah.
a long time ago actually because I had insomnia. And I was like, stop it with the sleeping pill thing. I was like, something else. So it was knitting and crocheting. What else have I been doing? I've been cooking a lot as usual. That's pretty much it.
All
Very,
right,
very
what about
easy.
Bea?
I love that. Very wholesome, Ciari. I mean, I am the same. I've been not crocheting, writing a lot. So I've been writing for the newspaper, and then also a lot of walks because I live by the Batangas area. So yeah, I think it's showing that we're close to 40, even if we're in our early 30s.
Bea and I like
I
are
feel
Like
like I'm in
crocheting.
retirement age.
The other one likes walking. I love
we
it.
both like walking. We're like, are you doing your walk? Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's the best.
It's a
So
magic
so when
walk.
you
Yeah.
so when you both decided to actually start a platform, Thirsty and 30, to help women and men find smarter love, how did that moment or that conversation go? What was the Eureka moment?
Go for it, Bea.
I don't know if we found the Eureka moment yet. I feel like every week we get more confused with all the problems we get. But it basically started when I was virtually making lende someone in the UK. And he was using the word, he used this
In a
like
bit.
phrase. He said, I'll call you in a bit. And in a bit was like 6 hours from that point. And I was complaining to my girlfriends. I was like, and Shari was there. I was like, anong in a bit? What does it mean to you? Nikki, for you, is that what's in a bit? Six
It can be
hours?
no, I wouldn't say 6 hours. I would probably say at the most 10 minutes.
Agreed.
Okay, so go ahead, Shari. Continue where we picked up from
Well,
me
I've
asking
pretty
you
much
this
I've been
question.
yeah. So she says in a bit, and I was also having some virtual Linde who'd say like, "I'll call you in a sec," and it also took like a glacial pace for in a sec. And then I don't know, Bea and I or our friends, we've always been kind of tawang-tawa sa sarili. Like we were always
Mm,
very impressed with their humor. And I was always saying like, guys, we should do a podcast. We can't be the only girls who talk like this or who would be entertained by this. And
yeah.
eventually, because of our virtual woes, Bea and I are like, let's do it. So we did.
Yeah.
And
All
it's
right.
At first, I was hesitant. I was like, no way, I'm not gonna air my, not that's dirty, but my dirty laundry, my love laundry. And then, but Sherry, someone was like telling me, you should just try to be a little controversial. And not that it became controversial, but Sherry and I like just met so many people from
Mm,
Miss Universe, Pia Wurtzbach to a dating coach, and everyone has a love problem. Everyone.
yeah. It's
exactly.
universal, and I love that you guys started it because I checked out some episode. It's very enlightening. Like there was a lot of stuff that I was like, huh. Especially if it's like from the guy's point of view too. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
you guys actually had that episode as well. So you guys have built yourselves as 30 somethings fighting for smarter anti-tililing love. So first, would you tell us what smarter love means for you?
Hmm.
Do you
I
want me to
think
start? I can start,
I
Sherry.
was oh, okay, you can go ahead.
Well, for me, I mean, Sherry somehow is more familiar on Smarter Love. I feel like I'm still getting a hang of it, but I think Smarter Love is like making better decisions that won't derail you.
Mm,
Yeah,
Because like a bad boyfriend is
agreed. Yeah.
like a bad hangover. Like it just doesn't let you move on. So, but yeah, Sherry she's a perfect case study. I am still a working experiment. Yeah.
No. I think Mike and I were talking about this a while ago. It's like what makes love smart? I think it's just equipping yourself with certain tools that can help bring you to a healthy relationship. But I guess it's never really a guarantee. People were talking about like it's a lot of timing. But smarter love
Mm.
really is gaining skills so that you make better choices that lead you to a healthy
Mm,
relationship. That's what
right.
smarter
Mike
love
is
is.
Sherry's boyfriend, by the way, for those
Yes,
that don't
that's
know.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
gonna get into that later. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so you've described what smarter love is. Now, please tell us what anti-tililing love is. I have never heard of this term. I'm pretty sure. I feel like you guys coined it anyway. And
Ye-
like, yung I've heard in your podcast, yung parang, natililing ka. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, please tell us. What
Bea
is
and I
this?
are big on the tililing. You know, like like when you know you're in a situation that you're there because it is somehow your fault, and then you just can't focus on anything. You can't go about your
Yeah.
day. You're
Oh my god.
itchy. You're confused. Basically, the tililing ka, and it's because you invested so much of your emotions and all this effort into this person, and you're not getting what you want, and then now
Hmm,
you're
Mhm.
tililing.
you
You have
are
anything more
I
talking
to
have
add,
to
Bea?
another
me. Yeah.
I have another kind of definition for tililing. It's like doing things that you would not be proud of. So whether
That
you're
too.
checking if someone's active on Messenger, how long they've been active for, why are they not replying?
Yes. Oh
When
my
they call
god.
you acting all cool, like, oh, I was busy. Or just the things that make you act on like very natural, not natural to
Not
yourself,
yourself.
or yeah, or you're not proud of it. I would say like
Or the
stalking
winner. Bea
someone.
and I have gotten a lot of listeners who tell us that, oh, they've sent food to not their boyfriends, and then they didn't get food back. You're like, why? That's a tililing move.
Mhm.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. I'm pretty sure even some of the listeners who are listening via radio or even through Facebook or Twitch or YouTube, no pressure, guys. They are relating. Like I already am. Like, those impulsive things. It's like I am just a gift giver, at least in that sense. And
Yeah.
Mm.
you want that reciprocated. So definitely I am feeling things already right now. So I I'm pretty sure that you guys wouldn't be pushed hard enough to start a platform about dating and relationships if you didn't encounter a low point, or I guess in your podcast, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, like your dark days in your love life. So, could
Mm.
you share an experience that almost made you give up on love? Who wants to start with this?
I feel like I should start
Ooh.
because mine is quite short. Bea has a more colorful dark days history. I guess mine was I was very fat. Like if you remembered me, we're from the same high school, and I was
Mm,
just always very fearful of men. So dating to me was just something that I just couldn't be vulnerable enough to do. And by the time that I started really focusing on dating in my late 20s, it was just always like whatever men would throw at me, attention that they would throw at me, I'd be like, "Oh,
mm.
okay. I like this guy too." So I guess that would be more of my dark days. I'd settle for certain things that I really shouldn't have been. Yeah.
Mm.
What about
Now,
Bea?
Dark
it's
days is
you.
like using men to validate you, I think.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like my dark days, I never see them as dark days. Even if people tell me, like, Bea, you were in a dark day, like a dark period. I always am just so happy and positive. I'm like, this is an experience. But I would say from being in Poveda in our school until like maybe my 29 years old. So matagal siyang dark days.
What was like
Para
so dark.
akong bulag. As a whole. So initially I think in Poveda, like you don't really learn how to date boys, right? Our version is like the bakal boy, the guy who's standing behind the gate. And if there's no guy behind that, you're not good enough. Like that to me was like how, being in an all girls school. And then
Mm,
my first relationship, it was super toxic. Like a lot of like alcohol, a lot of girls, and just a abusive relationship, like verbal and somewhat physical. And so that was very dark. But I always talk about it like, oh, it's an experience, it's an adventure. But which makes me tililing. It makes me a tililing person. Chari will always
No,
tell
it
me.
means you've moved on. I think that's just what it means. Not that you're
yeah,
crazy.
let's
You've learned and
Yeah.
hopefully
moved on.
Nikki,
moving on from your
how
dark
about you
days.
though? I want to know your dark
What
days
mine?
because we have to,
Uh
I need to know.
okay, okay, yes, we're going around in a circle. So
Mm-hmm.
my turn. My dark
Yes.
days was probably when I was like in late college. I was in an internship. I was in the States. So of course when you're not at home and you're in another country, right? What do? You party. So yeah, similar to Cherry actually, what she said, like if a guy were to give you attention, it's like you don't really know what's like what their intentions are, but you don't really think about it too because this guy is showing interest. And then in hindsight, this person was full of red flags. Like I was a raging bull running towards this dude who was like a walking red flag. So it's that was my dark days, and like I actually do call it that was my dark ages. It's so funny.
Oh.
You guys but yeah, so that was mine. And so now Bea, you also mentioned that you Siguro from like your 20s even up to your 29, you had like dark days also with trying to figure out this whole dating thing.
Mm.
So for the both of you, what has changed in your outlook about love from your early 20s and then like seeing it now?
Sumasakit pa rin ang ulo ko sa pag-iisip. Okay, I'll start. I guess what's changed now for me is I used to see men, like I told you, everything is an experience, right? And then every time I date a man, I always think like, oh, this is the story. Like this is the story that's gonna happen with this guy. If he's French, if he's Australian, this is what it looks like. And then now I
Mm,
realize like I can just make my own life. Like if the guy compliments it, that's great. But like
right.
for me now, it's like with or without the man, I can make my life. Bahala sila. Or Shari and I always say, che. Che ang
Yeah,
lalaki na yan.
check. I think
Go
I guess
ahead.
mine would be similar, but also a little bit the opposite. Like I was always very individual as a person. Like whatever, man or not, I'm fine. And then I guess maybe because I'm in a happy relationship now, I don't know that when you meet somebody who really complements your life, I never felt like I don't feel like I'm less of an individual. But like I feel like it's a like one I don't know, it's so cheesy to say it, but I feel like something a man can actually make you want to be better in some way versus like you
Mm,
being like, I don't need a man, whatever, which I'm a total believer in. But somehow I think my mindset has changed that there can be good men.
mm,
I think
Mm.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
I'm
I
they
changed.
agree.
I'm
exist.
being
I agree.
so scared of men to finally accepting that there are
Yeah,
good people, not just good men. So
Mm,
I think I became more
yeah.
open.
mm, yeah. It's like there are good men, but they are hard to find, but it'll
Totoo.
be worth it when you do.
You say hard to find, needle in a haystack, hard to
Yeah,
find. Yeah.
exactly.
Or
Exactly.
do you think that you can actually make them good? Like there are poor men, like poor behaving men, but if
Mm,
they meet a good woman who's strong and not needy, they're not gonna mess with her. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like
Yeah, but
they
that
won't.
goes back to how you shouldn't be the one that's like changing a person, right?
mm, right.
You're
There's
Don't
some
be a
like
people that push
Sandy like from
overs.
Greece.
mm,
Oh,
So so
I
when it
love
comes
Greece.
to I do too, but then I
yeah,
found out
so
the lesson later on was like it's not right.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
Be more like a Rizzo. But anyway, so do you think though, do you think dating becomes more complicated or more simplified as we get older? When we were younger, kasi it was like, I want this, I want that. And then maybe, and most of the time we weren't really sure of what it was that we wanted. But now,
Mm.
how do you see it now? Is it more complicated still, or still complicated, or is it simplifying slowly?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. I
For me, I don't know. For me, it's like it can be simple when you no matter what age. It really can if you know what you want. It's only for me it's simpler now because I know somewhat what I want.
Mm,
But if I started way earlier, if I got out of my dark dark era, it would have been easier for me, I think.
mm.
Yeah. Gosh, but is anything I don't know if it's simple. I feel like it's simple.
yeah, I agree with Bea. I think with age it's much simpler, mainly because one, you do know what you want. Two, you're smarter. The rose tinted glasses are off, and your
Mhm.
expectations are more realistic versus when you're young and you're a rom
Yeah.
com girl and you romanticize everything.
Yes. Oh my
So,
gosh.
but it's also harder because a lot at our age, a lot of people are settling down. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
konti na nga, I mean, we have, it's so mean to say that we have very little good men, but they just keep
Mm.
getting, the pool gets smaller and smaller as you age. So that's where it gets a
Yeah.
little bit more difficult. But yeah, I
Mm.
agree with what Bea said.
It's a
And if
numbers game though, I have to say.
that's
It's a
Yes.
numbers
yeah,
game.
that's true. And I guess it also
Mm.
just depends on like what you're are you willing to go lower in your age range? At least at the legal age naman, 'di ba? To widen the pool.
It's
Who
hard though
knows?
for older, like my age. I
That's
feel like I can't date someone who's 25 because they're gonna be like ages away
mm,
Yeah.
in
no,
what
I
they
agree.
want.
I agree.
Like, right? I don't know.
What's
Some
your
of them
upper and
make it
lower
work.
limit, everybody?
Upper and
Yeah.
lower oh, we're talking about age. Okay. Uh,
Yes. Age. What
mm,
else?
yeah, I think I would go with like 30. Right now I updated my app. I made it like 30, 35.
30 to
Wow,
35,
that's
that's
still
it. 5 years.
small.
That's a small
That's
I know,
window.
right? It's a tiny pool.
what
Bea
about
and
you
I
guys?
give
30 to
tips.
50.
Yeah,
Mine
Bea
is
and I
30
give
to
tips on
50.
this.
Ooh,
Go a bit
wow.
lower. Go a bit lower in age, like maybe 3 years
Hmm.
lower,
Mm,
and then go up to like 40.
okay. Okay.
Try
So
it and then
Okay,
that
tell us.
okay.
so I will try it. And for the monsters who are tuned in, why don't you try it as well? Widen the age range in your online
Yeah.
dating apps. Why don't you? Just to widen your pool as well. And you are tuned in to
Yes.
Heard on Thursdays. I do have Bea Trinidad and Chari Luna, or the hosts of Thirsty and 30, their podcast. But right now, we're talking about dating, of course. So when you do though, when you're dating someone, right? Like let's say that you're dating someone now, do you beat yourself up over like dating faux pas because you should know better now? Or do you still laugh about it, even just by yourself? Not like at least by yourself, because you know how to kind of make fun of it and then move on.
Hmm.
I've always been so good at making fun of myself, eh. So I've never
Mm,
really found a faux pas to be um traumatizing. I
mm,
think it's also again because growing up big, I've grown a thick skin, so I just laugh at myself a lot. And I feel like if you feel super self-conscious, maybe this is not the one. I'm a
mm,
believer
Yeah.
in comfort should
Hmm.
be one of the first things you look for.
right.
So yeah, no experience really. How about you, Bea?
I mean, we always laugh at ourselves and
Mm,
situations. I think that's the main thing. We have a
yeah.
Telegram chat just to specifically laugh at whatever situation I'm in,
Oh my gosh.
or Shari's in, or what. And I think you have to laugh at it so you don't put so much pressure on yourself. But dating faux pas, I would say in my 20s, like my 19 to 29, I was definitely committing a lot of faux pas. So sorry for the people I even tried to flirt with. I
What's
was
an
a
example?
disaster.
What's an example of a dating faux pas?
Let's say,
Mm,
okay, I have one. There was one who what happened ba? He there was a guy who asked to kiss me. We were completely different
okay.
in religion. I Catholic, and he is a, what is it, Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm,
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he asked, but it was just a weird date. I couldn't handle it. I was like, this is going nowhere. And then the end of the night, he asked to kiss me, and I agreed. But then I ducked, and then and he was like,
oh,
"You said yes," and then I just like,
oh,
I gotta go.
oh
I
my
gotta
god.
go.
So you didn't see
That
him
was a
after that,
faux
I'm
pas.
pretty sure. I'm hoping you didn't.
Yeah, yeah. I did not see him after that. I
All
just
right. I
ghosted
mean,
him.
the duck said it
That's
all.
a faux pas.
Mhm.
Dog.
All right.
But he said
That's
yes, and
a
then biglang duck.
that is a faux pas
Anyway,
actually. Yeah. So well,
yeah.
compared to the people or the guys that you were dating let's say 10 years ago to now, your tastes in men, how much of it has changed? Like initially tell me what were the types of guys that you were going for uh 10 years ago, and then now who are the guys that you are into? What kind of guys are you into now?
Sure. You go first.
I'm trying to think if it's changed. I think yes, in the way that before I liked men who would tease me, you like be
Mm,
a little mean. Like I like the playground lande. Do you know what I mean? When you were a
mm.
kid and then a guy would poke fun at
Push you
you,
over the, push you out of the
push you
seesaw.
off the yeah, push you off the slide.
Oh my god.
Before, that's the kind of thing I like. And then it developed into a more like I like a more caring, calmer person
Right.
now.
What about you, Bea?
Okay. Oh, you know what? I've always liked someone. How do you call that? Like out of the box. Like always, my
Ooh.
friends, if they send us a photo of like if I brought a date, they'll be like, "Who is this guy?" They don't know the people I bring are like wild cards. Until today, I would say I still like a wild card, but I'm probably looking for people that treat me better. wild card, but still treat me
We
better.
had a Telegram conversation na we said na Bea's love life is like pang Netflix documentary
Oh
palagi.
my
Like,
god.
why can't it be like, just
Wait,
simple?
wait. I need an example of a wild card, please, for the monsters who are listening. What is what does a wild card? What is a
Shari,
wild
do it
card
because I
kind
can't.
of
I
guy?
can't be I can't be
I'm trying to
objective
think of
about
Bea's
this.
examples. Bea is like
Go,
fond
biglag
of
mo na ako.
no naman, I won't be very specific. Pero si Bea parang it always starts out great and then suddenly there's like a pop, there's like a big red flag that just comes out of
Explosion.
nowhere. Like so I was like, oh, this guy is great, and then boom, red flag, and then you're like, that's like it's like a red kumot, not even a flag,
Right.
but parang ganun lang.
It's a kilt of red flags.
Yes, I think that's more it. Naman, nothing.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Okay.
Thank you
All
for
right.
being so honest.
All right. Well,
Is this an
why don't
intervention?
no naman, no naman. But I also
No,
want to know,
not.
like, okay, so thank you for sharing what as an example of a wild card is. Now, can you tell me though, throughout your dating lives, was there a most memorable date that you've ever been on? Or like was there like a most romantic thing that a guy has ever done for you?
I think.
You
I
want to
would
start?
say my pandemic start. The start of my pandemic was very sweet. I think
Ooh.
there was a lot of like I like acts of service and gifts. So the person I was making lende was really sending me gifts and letters. It was quite a nice thing. Like felt old fashioned. Like I realized
Mm.
I love love. So those things I really enjoy. So yeah, sucker,
Yeah, that was great.
sucker for love. Go
It's
ahead,
your love
Sherry. You
languages, like words of
I
affirmation and receiving gifts.
and a red blanket. Love a red blanket. Please,
Okay.
na mainit. Please.
Cherry, what about you?
um, I guess there's that thing we talked about on the podcast that Mike sent me Panda Express from California to Manila. But I think the
Mm,
one that touched me the most was in one of our conversations. I told him that my favorite couple is Aina and Jeffrey Garten.
mm.
So
Barefoot
for
Contessa.
also from the States, he sends me like what's the title of that cookbook, Bea? Cooking for Jeffrey, which was I's
Yeah, yeah.
cookbook
Mm.
for his husband. So he sends it to me for my birthday and changes every single Jeffrey on the book and on the cover with his name, Mike,
What?
on the post-it. Yeah,
Oh
and then
my
there was like a super sweet dedication in front, and then the back said, "If it's not obvious, I want to be the Jeffrey to your Aina." And that was just
Oh.
like, okay, kilig. I think that was one of the sweetest things thinking about
Oh.
it. Yeah.
How long were you in the
I like that.
relationship, or how long were you guys dating until he like sent you that
Oh
book?
my god, it wasn't even that long, really, because we met on Bumble 2019, and we were monogamous at that time. We were like, okay, we won't see other people
Mm,
then,
hi.
but it was probably like a year, a year in.
Mm.
Yeah, a year in.
Oh, that is so. Oh, the effort, my gosh, and then bringing it to Manila pa. Oh,
He sent
that
it with
is
through
Yeah.
his friend, but it was super sweet. Yeah.
yeah, that's the kind of thing that we dream of. That's the kind of thing you watch on Netflix. Come on, it's
Ah,
It's a
great.
okay.
reality for Sherry.
Bea, what are we
It's a
doing
reality.
wrong?
I got so I got
Nikki, I
swerte
think we're
sa
lucky. It
sama
doesn't
ng
it depends talaga on the I guess it's gonna happen. It's just sometimes I think
Yeah.
relationships evolve. And this is Sherry's first relationship, right?
yeah, he's like
Yeah.
like all the
Yeah.
guys that I've been dating, they were all kind of like wishy-washy. This is like
Mm,
the most secure, stable, committed one.
that's so good. Well,
Good guy.
congratulations on behalf of all single women. Congratulations, you found a very sweet guy.
I
So,
know. Swerte.
what about in terms of lessons learned in dating? maybe if it's not even about a breakup, but maybe it's about even choosing who you to date. Like, what was the most valuable lesson you've learned in dating?
Hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
From a
I know
bad
there's so
past.
many.
Speaking of wishy-washy, man, there was this guy that I was seeing for 6 months, and I got dengoid for quite a bit because I didn't do my due diligence. So
Mm,
before starting off into a not even like a legit committed relationship or dating somebody, do your due diligence and check their person, their whole thing. I think that's
mm.
important. Yeah, that's a big lesson for
I
me. Due
totally get it. You
diligence,
said due diligence. I was like, oh, background, parang background check,
background
sort of.
check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
a NBI clearance,
Yeah,
police check, all sorts of Facebook, LinkedIn, lahat na,
yeah.
screening. Um,
That's just to avoid something bad, right? Yeah, that's my advice.
yeah,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I think for me, my biggest lesson, like we've learned so much through our episodes, but the number one thing is really asking crucial questions. Like, number one is, does this lifestyle of this person fit within my lifestyle?
Mhm.
And how do I see your life like way further? Because like what Sherry said, mine's always like a Netflix documentary, like with yung mga crime
True crime.
docus. There's always something in the end. Like, because I think I get the phase one right. Yung love, like yung mga falling in love, getting attracted, like I'm cool with that. The
Mm-mm.
second and the third part, I really messed that up. That's the part I don't get right. And that's why it turns into a thriller. So
Mm. All
that's my
right.
lesson. Ask questions and then
Oh,
be write it down. Write it down.
Right.
hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like those questions, even if it's uncomfortable. Was there a question that you've asked? Well, what's an important question I think that you should ask someone who you're considering to be as a partner? It can be like two or three questions that you like. It's a non-negotiable. I have to know these things about you. What are they?
I think you have to start off with, "Are you in a relationship?"
I
And
was
then you
gonna
go
Right?
say
to
that.
due
Says,
That's
are
diligence.
you
good.
married?
That's a
Are
good
you married
point.
or not?
And be ladies, be specific. Are you in a relationship, open or otherwise? Should be the question. Be
Yes,
very
that is
Are
true.
you
specific.
Time to change
divorced
and
or not divorced? Annulled or not annulled?
Yeah.
These
mm,
are
But I think
important
seriously, just make sure
questions.
your timelines are aligned. I think Bea and I have noticed that a lot of good relationships go awry because one of them's not ready. Like
mm,
they're
Yeah.
towards the same trajectory, the same goal, but the timeline is off. So I think
right.
sorting that out early on is important.
Yeah.
What else, Bea?
I think mine is how you deal with conflict. Like, just ask, are
Yeah.
we
Mm,
dealing with conflict or do we fight in a good way? Because there are some people who don't talk when they are upset about something. There are people who want to talk about it. And it
mm,
can get
right.
so a lot of friction. I think that's important.
Yeah, fighting styles. We always ask.
Can they be
Fighting style.
trusted? Can they be trusted?
Sinungaling ka ba?
Sobrang jaded.
Or what
Yeah.
Yeah, those are initial questions, I think.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Trust plays a big, big role also when it comes to relationships,
Oh,
of course.
one, money. Like how you guys approach money. Because I've had
Mm.
a
Mm,
relationship where we really the tension was always on the money and not the lack of it, just the way we handled it. Because we both could earn the money, but we just saw it so differently that we ended up all our fights were because of like a bill being paid. It was just laundry, getting laundry done. So parang no point. Lahat na.
Yeah.
Pinagawa
all
yun.
right.
How
All
about you,
right.
Nikki? Do you have one?
Questions to ask. Well, yes, if you're in a relationship, I must ask that. Um, also, it's a good question to ask. Well, also not really a question, but like how they treat like other people like, when we're at a restaurant, like how they speak to the waiter, how do they speak to like strangers, how they approach them. Are they cordial with them or are they more like demanding, like I know what I want, why is it
Mm.
not here yet, that kind of thing. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people start to notice. That was like a trend in like Facebook. If he starts to talk to your waiter like this, it's a no, parang ganun. That's how I realized. I was like, yeah, I should take note. The another question, I guess, it would be in terms of them opening up, though. Not really much of a question. Like, how much are they willing to open up to you?
Yeah.
Um, of course, you have to time it right. But then, if they haven't opened up at a certain amount of time, it's like, how can we move forward
Yeah.
in the relationship?
Hmm.
That kind of thing.
Bawal
That's a
yan,
good
yung
one.
mga pader. Ayoko ng mga pader.
Mm, right.
No.
Yeah. That's like, be open, tell me, right? So yeah, so so Bea, I want to ask you now, like with the past experiences that you've had, um, does it scare you that you could get hurt again if you were to date someone new?
I think you're always scared, but I'm not a person that really says no to getting hurt. I'm really like go lang, go lang. But
Mm,
I'm more conscious now to last 10 years with someone that I know is not gonna be good for me. I think that's it.
mm,
I'm not afraid to get hurt. I just don't want to continue this like parang volume 1, volume 2, volume 3 until 10. Yeah.
all right.
Mm.
It's a learning process. As you can see, I look lost. I still
And you say it's
I'm still
always an
confused.
experience, like what you mentioned earlier. Every relationship or dating or date is an
Yeah.
Yeah.
experience. So Shari naman, I want to know that, okay, so you met Mike through Bumble in 2019, and this was, I think, at a time, if I'm not mistaken, that you weren't really looking for a relationship or weren't really interested in one, or were you looking for one?
Oh no, I was looking for one
Oh, you were looking for one.
aggressively,
Okay,
quite
okay.
aggressively.
Aggressively. Okay.
But but
Mm-mm.
to be honest, at that point in my life, I was not looking for a relationship in the way that I wanted to get married because I was in that phase in my life that men suck. So yeah, but I was aggressively looking.
Okay. And so what were your initial thoughts, I guess, on online dating? Like, you were aggressively looking for a relationship and you were doing this through Bumble or any other dating app. Were you like really confident, or did you have like doubts? So parang there's so many catfish here kind of thing.
Doubts for sure. But like I said a while ago, I always approached life with a sense of humor. So if
Mm,
I get that,
that's good.
that photo that you don't want or annoying advances that you don't want, it's just the perfect time to take a screenshot and send it to my friends and laugh at it. So that's just kind
Receipts.
of
Beautiful.
Yes.
how, yeah, that's just
Yes.
kind of how it works. In my head, if I find somebody online, great. If I don't, it's fun. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
That's
I
true
look at
though.
it.
That is true.
I do have a bad
Eh,
experience with that sharing with friends. I remember
oh
my
no.
first breakup with my first boyfriend. We decided to date other people and I decided to go down with age to mga 20s, and I went
Ooh.
on Snapchat. I found someone on Bumble, I believe, and he invited me to Snapchat and he sent me a thirst trap. He
Mm.
sent me his abs or something, just something wholesome. And I screenshotted it, of course. And then I didn't know on Snapchat that you
Oh
could see
no!
that
Oh my
someone.
gosh!
Because you're
And
not a
he said,
tita.
and then he said, you took a screenshot. I was like, oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh!
Firm.
Oh
He was
gosh!
hot though. He's a model and he
Mm-mm.
was beautiful. But yeah, I got caught being
You
like
got
a
caught.
different generation.
Yeah.
Oh
That's when I
dang! Oh
stopped using
dang!
Snapchat.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you still have it,
We
the
can go back to
photo,
Sherry.
or did
Can you
you?
Yeah,
share
no,
it?
no.
Can you
I
share
think
it
I shared
and
with some people.
just kidding.
I'll find them again.
I still have my collection of photos on my phone in a
Oh my
in a
god.
folder. I could share with you guys later.
All right.
Please do.
I think
Please
that
do.
there's a lesson to be learned here also. I mean, aside from the whole screenshotting on Snapchat, you should not. But also like to approach dating with like, yeah, with your friends into also. Like you have that group chat. It's like keep it light and not take yourself so seriously or beat yourself over this person who you
Yeah.
barely even know palang. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
And
that's a lesson for all the
don't
monsters.
be scared of online dating. People are all like, "Oh, we did a post online that a lot of people thought that it's for the desperate, it's for the people who can't get a date." That's
Yeah.
not true. It's a whole new world now. Like everybody's online. So
Mm-mm.
it's
Yeah.
practically the same. So just dive in. If you get something bad, laugh at it. That's it.
Here we go. It's a
Don't
good
overthink.
lesson.
Hmm.
Oh
Never
God, that
overthink.
is my
Yeah.
problem. But it's not about me. Let's let's move on now
I
to
feel like we should
dating.
ask you something about
I
that.
know. Tell
Uh,
us
uh,
more.
all
How is
right.
your
What do
online
you
dating
overthink?
experience?
Yeah,
What
what
do
do
I
you overthink
overthink? Oh my gosh. I mean,
when it comes to
we're
love and dating?
I overthink. You know that what do you call this? Those videos like on TikTok, he's probably thinking about other girls or mga ganon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then but really they're just like he's just hanging out with the boys doing really random stuff with each other, and
Yeah.
it's just like I mean that's on it. That's me. That was me before. I don't know how I am when I approach like dating now. It's just gonna be
Hmm.
that's what I'm afraid of actually. Kasi pandemic parang wala. I was like I was not active. I was not active. Anyway, I
You're
mean,
on
of
the
course,
We
it's
apps.
also
can make
hard.
a profile for you. We
You're
can
on the
Oh
make a
my
apps,
god.
profile
right?
for you.
Oh, we're doing this. We're gonna make a profile. Oh gosh. Well, pwede
We can do
naman.
it, Nikki.
Yeah, we
But
do that.
real okay. Oh my gosh, am I gonna victimize myself tonight? Wait lang. Before before we get into that. Before we get into that. Let's talk a little bit first about like dating etiquette. So I want to know between the two of you, um what is or do you have a go-to flirt move? Like probably 8 out of 10 works.
We always ask this on the show. Bea has a great
Yeah,
one. I'm
yeah.
a terrible flirt. I just make weird jokes. I
Hmm.
share movies I like, and sometimes I do like an annoying, like quirky. I try to be
Cute.
quirky.
Yeah.
Bea has a good one. Go Bea.
Okay, well, mine now is number one, sending books or like just giving things like as long as they return it. Like if I give something and they don't give something back, they're blacklisted. They're in my red
Oh,
list. I have a red list. I have
Wow.
anyone that's shady, wrong, weird, they move to that list.
Mm,
Um and then lately I've been liking sending voice notes. I think it's a nice thing because
yeah.
apparently when you I mean you're in radio and stuff and we're in podcasting, it's very intimate, so not that linalandi ko sila or but I mean like just send an intimate voice note. I mean
that's a
not the
flirting move.
content
That's a flirting move pala. I did that Ren, but it was more of like to
Mm,
get like move up from text to a voice call. I to a voice note to a
yeah.
voice call. It's a flirting move. I love it. Okay, that's a
I
good
mean,
move, guys.
That's
everyone
a
loves the
smart move.
radio podcasting. And then video is the best. Video is obviously the best because you get both visual and audio. This is a science. Guys, try it out. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For
Nikki,
yes.
what's yours? What's
For
yours? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
what's your go-to
I'm
move?
trying. You know what? I'm actually trying to think. Like, what is? I can't even. This is how out of the game I am, friends. I can't even remember what I did. Um,
Okay,
I
right now, if there was somebody across the room right now, Nikki, how would you do it?
I just glance at them. No, I'm just kidding.
Just
Hmm.
stare.
No, 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 no. Well, I know this. I know this move. It's not even really flirting, but it's actually how to start a conversation with someone you barely know. So it's like, usually if I'm out the money, you're with your friends, right? And when you see a cute guy, and then you obviously you inch your group a little bit closer, right? That's the goal, proximity, so that it's much easier
Yeah.
to contact, like to try and talk to this person. And so
Yeah.
parang one move was like to like I asked him, "Hey, can you take a picture of us?" And then he's the one who takes a picture.
Oh, I
And
like
then
that. I like that.
yeah, and then it's like shows you, you can take it again, and you're like, thanks so much, how's your night going? And so that's how the conversation starts.
Okay,
I
that's
like
But
nice.
that.
yeah, it's
I'll
subtle.
copy
It's
that.
subtle.
Subtle,
Do
that's
it, Bea.
subtle.
Do it to get out of your dark days. Sorry.
Dark era. It's an era, guys. Not a few years.
Well, okay. So, thank you for sharing your go-to flirt moves. If monsters, you guys are considering it, I hope it works for you as well. But what's your take, naman, when it comes to women making the first move, or even like considering, I'll pay for the date, like, like, don't chill, like,
Mm.
I got you. Like, what's your
Oh.
opinion on that?
We actually had a good episode with FQ Mom about those two things. Who
Mm,
pays
Yeah.
for the first date is whoever asks
yeah.
on the date.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's kind of who pays for it. But well, I don't know if Bea also, but I'm team, the guy should pay on the first date. I think Bea
Right.
agrees with
Mm.
me too. And then
I
yeah, go on. Go ahead, Bea.
I do like you can pay whoever asks for the date, right, should pay. But I also saw like this dating coach Matthew Hussey where he said you should try to pay for the popcorn. Like you should offer to pay for something. So FQ
Yeah,
mom
yeah,
told us to pay for like a dessert or like just show that you're a team player,
yeah.
not like a gold digger that you're just
Mm-mm.
gonna
Yeah.
because there are women that they just expect to be showered until the end of their, from past like 20 dates or like they will never put out their wallet again.
Yeah,
I think
but
Mm.
it's
that's
good to
that's
pay
that's
for a
that's
drink.
timing though, because I remember FQ Mom said that her tip was to do that when you also like the person in the
Oh
courting
yeah.
stage, or I guess the first two dates. Let
Yeah.
him pay. And then about the girl making the first move, Bea and I are all for it usually, but also FQ Mom said that whether we were
Yeah.
wired, um evolution
Mm-mm.
just
Mm.
shows that men hunt and women blah 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 blah.
Mm-mm.
So I guess you should play to that a little bit and maybe try to
Yeah.
make them feel like there is some sort of chase instead of us doing the
Yeah,
chasing.
that
So
is true.
yeah,
Yeah. I would never do the first move. I think you can find a way to make the guy make the first move easier. Like you can be around him, you can have a cup of tea. I don't know what people
exactly.
do
Miss
nowadays.
A cup of
Universe,
tea.
Miss Universe said that to us, right? They put
Yeah.
yourself in
What
such
did
a
she say?
way,
What
or
she
in areas that
Oh
you
yeah.
know that that person will be. So you kind of
Mm,
Yeah.
open the stage, but you don't make him kalabet. You wait for the approach, but you're there, ready to
Yeah.
accept the approach.
Ready.
uh,
Ready,
to
looking
accept
perfect.
the
You
approach.
know.
I love it. It's like a plane
I mean, there
landing.
Yeah.
it works though. If you want to make the first move, go for it. But like as long as it's not only you that's making the move, I think. Parang
Yeah, as long as you're
I
not
don't
the one
know.
who's always making the first move, also into like asking out or to,
Yeah.
I guess, pay also. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That's a red
Guys
flag
can
for me.
smell desperation. Guys can
Mm,
smell neediness, desperation, jealousy, all the things that we women like to show them. They can smell it. They can sense it. Yeah.
that's true.
Mhm.
Have you guys ever ghosted anyone? I'm sure. So, like, I'm sure. Like, I have been ghosted a few times, and maybe you guys have also experiences in ghosting and being ghosted, pala. But have you ever ghosted anyone, and what was the reason if you had? At least
Just
once.
loss of interest. I have been ghosted more with people that I've invested or I thought I invested feelings in. But
What?
like if I've dated them, but then I was such an awkward kid. Like to me, like 3 dates was an investment. Like the level of effort is so different. The guy's like, this girl's not gonna kiss me or anything. And I'm like, three
Mm.
dates. I kissed him on the cheek. Yung
Yeah.
mga ganon. So I've been ghosted by those guys who were more mature in the dating world.
Mm.
Um, but I've ghosted people through text or messaging just because I was not interested and I'm just like, can't be bothered. Yeah.
Mm.
How about you, Sherry?
I've I'm a blocker, Bea knows that. Like, I don't
You're a
really,
blogger.
yeah, I don't really just drop out of nowhere
Ah.
and just leave things on red. If somebody
Mm,
starts annoying me, like I told you when I was
yeah.
aggressively looking, sometimes on Bumble, people just find you on Instagram, they send you something, you reply once, and then they just won't stop. Or same on
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Mm.
So instead of just like, I'm showing you I'm not interested, instead of showing you that I'm not replying, I'll be very clear and put a period on it and just block.
Block you.
Wow.
How many
Or
people are in your
unmatched.
block list? How many people are in your block list? Have you ever checked, Sherry?
No, I haven't. But you know. But
I'm
yeah, but
curious.
have I been ghosted? No, surprisingly not, because again, I'm not very open as a person. So I don't really
Mm.
wear my heart on my sleeve. So I don't think I let myself get into a situation to get ghosted because I'm very
Mm.
conscious of it. That I feel like it's not going anywhere. So
Oh, so
yeah.
you're explicit about it. Like you'll actually bring it up instead of like
Yeah,
disappearing.
I just I mean, people ghosting me. That's why I've never been ghosted because I guess that's I don't really I don't get attached too quickly. But that's a thing.
Mm,
So
okay.
when I feel like
Mm.
something is dwindling, oh, dahan ko na. Like, oh yeah, you're not
Okay.
interested. I am more not interested.
That's how you end up on the blacklist.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
what
god.
about when you're not in a relationship or while you're not in a relationship, is it okay to date more than one person at a time? I mean, is it okay to date more than yeah, like at the same time?
I'm a one
Uh,
person kind of dater. However, that hasn't really served me well. So I need to change my approach.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with Bea. Find it difficult to date multiple people at once, but that doesn't mean that you should not.
Mm-mm.
I've heard a lot
Yeah.
of times that you shouldn't put your all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
And until somebody says that he's monogamous to you and you agree that you're monogamous to him, it's
Mm,
you date whoever. It's your right
Mm-mm.
to. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And I think it's important also to validate that it's okay because I'm sure there are some people who like when if they date one person lang and they start to get invested, they start to feel like they are going to be like there's a possibility of this being in a relationship when you don't really know what the other person is thinking. So it's
Exactly.
like
Yeah. And
kind of just like don't prioritize this
Right.
And
partnership.
their men are love bombers. I think most men are love bombers, where they just like shower you with so much like love, infatuation, and then out of nowhere they're gonna change their mind. I don't know. I feel like that's more
Mhm.
of a
Right.
they say like women fall in love with like the words of men, so that's why men have to like love bomb you, and then they
You
disappear.
fall for that. And also, don't forget,
Yung
you
mga-
have to be clear. You ask. You can't just assume you're monogamous. It has to be
Mm,
explicitly
oh
said
yeah,
that you are in a
totally.
monogamous relationship. Never assume
mm-mm.
that it is. They're
Yeah.
gonna
And
loophole you.
it's a good thing you actually bring that up. My next question is when is it appropriate to tell the person you're dating your expectations? Like is there a given time frame when you guys are dating or is it like right at the start, like maybe first, second date?
A friend of ours, Kat, said that there's no more like pabebe nowadays. Now that we're heading into our 30s, like wala nang pabebe dating. Like just say what you want. And I believe this. Like there's a trend now that they say is hardballing. It's like your first date. You just tell them everything that you want.
Yeah.
I haven't done that. I can't. Like I'm not a naturally
I
aggressive,
am also soft.
honest person. Yeah. So I think you should know maybe first 5 dates sabihin mo na. I don't know. Shari
Yeah.
ko.
Yeah, I agree. There's no reason to beat around the bush because you just end up getting disappointed if your wants don't match. And I think
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
we are thirsty and 30, we are at the age that we don't really have 5 years to spare into somebody who doesn't want to get
Yeah.
married and I do, or
Right.
doesn't want to have kids, but I do. So it's just all about you don't want to waste your time. And masakit
I've
to not be on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That's true. That's how we don't get out of our dark days also. We
I
don't
have one
address it.
example.
Go
I have one
share.
example. In Bumble or Tinder, there are people that say that I'm looking for something casual
Right.
or I'm not interested in a relationship.
Or I
The
don't know
past
yet.
self, yes, my past self would be like, oh, he's cute. I can turn him, I can convert him. But nowadays,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, swipe left. You're not going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
change them. You're not able to convert them. Like, they've already told you exactly what they want.
True.
Yeah,
See,
you're
progress.
Totally
waiting for
We
agree.
like
are
a
smarter love.
You're
Smarter
pat
moving
love.
myself on
forward,
the
babe.
back.
Congrats.
I'm getting progress.
Baby step, one baby step. Yeah.
So let's say that you guys are dating. Let's pretend, I guess, for Shari, that all three of us are single. If you find out that the person that you're dating is still friends with his exes, is this a red flag for you?
I'm celosis.
Mm.
How
Mm.
close? How close are they? I
I
think that
mean, siguro at least they react on each other's IG stories.
IG stories is so intimate. It's just
I'm
between the
sure. I'm
two
telling you right
people.
now. I would be jealous also.
My, okay.
I
I
I
will be. Shari, you want to go first, or should I go?
no, go ahead. I'm trying to analyze the situation in my head.
Okay, I have a couple examples. As I said,
Okay,
I'm an
go.
experienced bad dater. Okay, my first my first boyfriend, came off a 10-year relationship,
Mm,
and he was still like trying to maintain friendship with his ex. And there was one concert, I think it was his, sorry, there was one concert that we had to go to, and that was like before that he was gonna meet his ex to like completely like cut off and give back everything and not be friends with her.
okay.
But like, but it was so complicated. I was so confused. Like, I wanted him to heal from his 10-year. Number one, you shouldn't date someone who just got off a relationship, right? I feel
Mm,
like that's a no-no. Diba? See?
Yeah,
Sabi ko,
yeah,
yeah.
pililing
yeah.
ako eh. Oh my gosh, I just realized all my past three have been healing from their past relationship. And I'm trying to save them. Ay,
That's
nako,
a
That's a
that's
lesson.
sick.
breakthrough. At least you know now.
Yeah.
Wait,
Don't
what
be
was
the
the question?
rebounder.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's not good if they're friends with their ex. I think that's the. I think it's especially if the ex still really loves them or has. If they're not like in the same group of friends, I think
Mm,
yung talagang they're really intentionally keeping the connection. Yun,
Yeah.
I have an issue with that. Yeah.
all
I
right.
agree. You can be friends with your ex, but you can be friendly. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like too
Yeah.
Okay.
familiar, same like inside jokes, things like that.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Reacting to stories. No, but your Facebook friends, okay, fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But interacting all the time, no.
All right.
And some exes
Okay.
are crazy too. Some exes are crazy. You
True.
don't want that.
That is true.
Clean.
That is true.
Cleanse. Detox.
Do you guys also believe in the phrase people can only love you as much as they love themselves?
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting. Say it again.
People can love.
People can only love you as much as they love themselves.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
Do you agree or disagree?
I guess it kind of connects to how when people are unhappy with themselves, it's hard for them to be happy for other people. I
Mm,
think
Hmm.
if you don't love yourself, there's a certain ceiling as to how much love you can give. I guess
yeah.
up to that degree, I agree with the statement. Yeah. How about you, Bea?
Yeah. You learn this the hard way. I think in some cases, when you're in a toxic relationship, like I was in one the first time, and for the whole like I think when especially when people are gaslighted, like you're always made to believe that it's your fault. Like it's always twisted that it's your fault. But in reality, like that person is never gonna be happy. And they don't
Mm-mm.
make decisions to make themselves happier. And what they're doing is they're just pushing it towards you and you'll catch the ball, try to, I don't know, it's like a really bad game of basketball.
Yeah.
So see, I have so many analogies for life, but
Basketball being one of them.
yeah, I think it's true. And
Yeah.
you have to learn that really early on when you're dating, because you will end up so blinded by love that you forget that phrase. That should be tattooed in people's
Hmm.
faces.
Tattooed on
Yeah.
people's
That's
faces.
it. Bey and I also on the show like to give importance into doing what's best for yourself first.
Mm,
Because if you're in a
Yeah.
good place, you attract good things as well,
yeah,
like good people.
that's true.
Yeah.
So I think that's, yeah. Yeah, I like that
Or
saying.
Ellen Adorna's advice, you deserve what you
What you
tolerate.
tolerate.
I think that's important.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a good
That's
one.
my favorite. Yeah.
wow. That should be tattooed on
Mm.
people's faces too. I agree.
Mm.
Let's all get it like a full body
Dominate.
Diba?
after this.
Post
Lahat,
Meet,
Malone
lahat
I'll
na.
with
meet you
that
guys
shoe.
outside.
All right. Well,
Lahat na.
oh my gosh, Shari, Bea, we are nearing the end of this conversation. I'm having so much fun,
No, this is
but
fun.
I
Let's
know,
go on.
right? I know, right? But okay, if there was one quick message or a tweet, 150, 140 characters, but a short message that you can tell your 18-year-old self about love or dating, what would it be? And I'll give you guys a moment. For the monsters who are tuned in, you're tuned in to Heard on Thursdays. I'm joined by Bea Trinidad and Shari Luna of Thirsty and 30, their podcast. And it's just been such a joy talking about dating and relationships and all of our experiences as well. So if you guys are just if you guys have any questions, actually go ahead. If you have any problems or something, we'd be more than happy because we're
Yeah.
so
Mm.
experienced. And
Mary's in a
solving
better
our
state.
own. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I hope you guys are also enjoying the conversation as much as we are. But for Bea and Sherry, what would be your message to your 18-year-old self?
Oh my God, that's so
I'll
hard.
start. Ikaw na lang yung
Okay, go
last.
Bea.
Okay, mine is super simple. Like, I'm not even gonna make this a haiku or a poem. It's just a mag-isip konti. Mag-isip ka konti. Yun lang. Or
Isipin mo
or
pa.
tama na. Tama na. Tama na.
That's a good one. Tama, that's my favorite line to say to Bea.
Imagine if you're 18 yourself after you receive that. It's like, mag-isip ng konti. Tama na. Parang,
Mm.
They're like, what's
about
gonna
what?
happen?
No,
Uh,
mag-isip ka konti. Yeah.
uh,
I
Shari,
thought
have
of,
you thought of something
I think
to
mine's a
say?
little bit of the opposite. Like, don't be so paranoid. Be more open. Would
Mm.
be my
Mm.
advice to my 18-year-old self.
I
Oh,
love that.
yeah,
Thank you.
that is true.
Heart you, Shari.
If you were to give advice to the monsters who are tuned in when it comes to dating, or at least when it comes to being in a relationship, what's the number one advice that you can give them?
Hmm. I can start, Shari. I'm always ready. I'm always
Yeah,
ready
She
with
has
words
her
of wisdom.
experiences.
go
Words
ahead,
of
Bea.
wisdom for myself.
Go.
I have two. Again, number one is
Mm,
it's from one of our guests, Kaya Antonio. She discussed like polyamory and big love, and
mm,
her thing was clarity is kindness. I love that. Um, in this world of dating vagueness, I feel like that's
yeah.
important. Um, and then my second one would be do unto others what you want. The golden rule, right? Do unto
Mm,
others what you want them to do to you. I feel like that's a good one. Yeah. And
That's a very good one.
that's true.
For people who are single or in a relationship, I think for single people and those looking to get into a relationship, one of my favorite pieces of advice from our show was from Moira, was when
Mm,
she said that when she knew she found the one, she felt very calm. I think people are so into looking for exciting all the time, but looking
yep.
for peace and a calm relationship is so much nicer than being in a exciting, erratic, crazy one, right? And then I guess my
Yeah.
advice to people in a relationship, we always talk about communication, and I think it's one of the foundations of a good relationship, but make sure you learn how to communicate effectively. So you can talk all you want, but if you don't know how to effectively communicate with your partner with what's gonna land with what you
Mm-mm.
say, then you're
Yeah.
just talking to yourself, right?
Right.
So effective communication would be my other advice.
All right.
Panalo ka.
We're winners. We're winners today, guys.
Well, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Learned so much, and it was just a joy just to hear all of your stories, Bea and Shari, about dating, about love, finding love. At least for Shari, finding love in the future for me and Bea.
Send
And
us your bio. We'll make you a bio.
I know I was gonna say the
maybe
offer
a
stands.
bio.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone who else wants a free
yeah.
profile will help
Monsters who are
you.
listening, please
Yep.
send us your bios and force
All right.
Nikki to
No,
send us her
I'm game
bios.
for it. I'm game for it. Let's do it. But for now, let's go ahead and ask Bea and Shari to go ahead, share, invite monsters to listen to your podcast and maybe even follow your socials. If there's anybody you want to say hi to tonight who you know are listening, go ahead. Go ahead, take the floor.
Hi, mom and dad. And so, guys, please do listen to our podcast, Thirsty and 30. It's a chat show about smarter love. You can find us on Spotify or anywhere podcasts are available. Our Instagram is Thirsty and 30. My Instagram is Shai_Luna. I'm private, but if you would like to follow, I accept sometimes. Bea, go
You're not a weirdo.
if
Okay,
you don't look
well, Sherry's
good.
ready. Okay, well, pretty much as a compliment to the podcast, I write a newsletter called thirsty30.substack.com, and it just takes 5 minutes to read every week, and hopefully it will improve your relationships, work, family, friendship, love, of course. And yes, my Instagram is at Bea Trinidad _. I accept, I'm public. I don't care. All weirdos, normal people. I accept them all.
Oh, so, and also, if you
Come,
do, uh,
inclusive.
please do visit our website so you don't miss any of our anythings. Thirsty and 30.club. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks so much,
Yeah.
Nikki. And we cannot wait to fix your dating profile. I'm just gonna say
Mm-hmm.
that.
You're making
Excited.
it
I'm
sound like
already
I have a
thinking.
terrible dating profile.
Oh,
I
can we
actually
see?
don't know how it.
Can we see?
Well, I will show you off air. Anyway, but
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you for all of the monsters who have tuned in through Facebook, through Twitch, through YouTube as well, and on air on the radio. Super appreciate Bea and Shari sharing everything that they had to share, could share with the time that we had. I'm sure we could have talked more about because there's just so much. There's so many things to talk about,
Yeah.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Every
so
hour
who
could be
knows?
different.
We'll probably bring you guys back part 2 or something.
Anytime.
Sure.
Diba? All right. Well, for all the monsters, this has been heard on Thursdays. And have a good evening or early morning. It is 12:21. So get some rest. And I hope you guys rethink your strategy when it comes to love and take heed from the advice that Bea and Shari has shared tonight. And with that, we say goodbye and good